Okay, so hi guys, my name is Chelsea. I'm an artist located in Northern Ontario, and welcome to my studio series. On this channel, I'm going to be talking about a bunch of different things, and there's going to be a few different types of videos, like materials, walkthroughs, process, collaboration, finished pieces, artifacts, studio tips, and like another couple fun things sprinkled in there. Most of these videos are going to be like introductory things, so you don't have to have any experience when you're coming to see them. I'll make sure at the beginning of videos to go over anything you'll need, like the materials for the project, and also safety equipment and things that you should know about the materials that you're going to be working with. Rule of thumb is that I try to work with materials that are non-toxic, and for some processes that's a little more difficult than others, so making sure that you have the proper safety equipment, or PPE, personal protective equipment, is really important. But don't worry, I'll make sure to tell you guys well in advance before you even start. And the reason that it's really important, especially for stuff like resins or dust, like particles, like things like, you know, say you're working with plaster and sculpture and there's lots of dust in the air. Once, probably not a big deal, but if you do that more, like a handful of times, or it's like for a long period of time, like exposure to those things, exposure to toxicity, like high toxicity things and dust is just like, is bad for us over time. Chronically, not good for our respiratory systems over time, and we really don't know how many years it'll take off our life, but the answer is that it does take years off if you are, you know, if you're not protecting yourself. So like, you know, you, when you're 80, will thank yourself for wearing protective equipment now, even if you now doesn't care. Just do it for your future self. Yeah. So the first material that I want to talk to you about is the sketchbook. Sketchbook is a very useful tool, especially ones like this that are kind of backpack sized, really comfortable to carry around on your person, because if and when you have a good idea, it's really useful to have something like this to write your ideas down in. And I think a lot of people, like, there's a misconception that sketchbooks should be used for drawing, but a lot of the time, and even in fact this one is mostly writing as well. So you don't have to be using your sketchbook only for drawing. It's just something convenient to have. And I personally find that sketchbooks are much less distracting than phones. When I'm going to write an idea, I just, you know, I get sucked into whatever notifications are on my phone, whereas the blank pages of a sketchbook I find really helpful for getting down things. Funny story, I had a materials book. This was a materials sketchbook from probably like 2 or 3 years ago, where I had written down in the table of contents painting, drawing, screen printing, sculpture, and I just added 2 new categories to that for collage and then technology, because those are like new materials that I've kind of explored. But the sketchbook has been around for years, and I have it like all divided into the tabs here, so as I go I'm going to be like making notes and like talking to you guys about the things that I'm finding. Yeah, so rule of thumb, I try to use non-toxic materials, but if you can't avoid that, then making sure that you read the MSDS for whatever the material is, and that's the material safety data sheet. Like, if you have an opportunity to take WMIS, you definitely should take WMIS. It's just really good to know about materials and like all of the symbols on the products that you're going to be working with. Like, I'm sure you guys all know what the exploding symbol looks like, but if you don't, this would be a really good thing to take. It's just a good thing to have and to know. I've taken WMIS probably every year of my life for like the last 10 years almost. It's just a good thing to know. It's just a really good thing to know. So when we're working on projects, if you have long hair, make sure that it's up, because you do not want to have long hair loose in studio, whether it's going to be dripping into like paints or power tools. Power tools are a very dangerous thing if you have long hair and you're not going to put it up. So make sure that you either, you know, tuck it back with the toque, or, you know, I was going to say hairnet, but I mean like, yeah, like winter toques or elastics. It's just nice, and then you don't get it in the paint and stuff and the glue, and it's really hard to clean when you do get stuff, but it's not a big deal if it's mostly like up and out of the way. Yeah, so the first series of videos that we're going to approach is a collage mini-series. This series is going to be produced in part of a Workman Arts / Artfix online series in light of like the current situation. So I'm really excited to be talking with you guys about collage, and I'm hoping that these will become a useful resource for you or for people that you know, for if and when you guys decide that you want to explore these ideas and these materials. So some of the things that we're going to be talking about after sketchbooks, because sketchbook being your #1 material, this is a really cool resource to have. we're going to be talking about stuff that you can utilize to and combine with collage to kind of create new and beautiful things. Collage is a really good way of like reimagining an object or a surface. Yeah, and kind of like reskinning it is what I've called it, like reskinning it in the sense that you're giving it like a new outer stuff. And you can do that. Like books is a really great thing to collage. This might be one of the things that we kind of look at doing. If you have magazines, when you're collaging, content is important. So like next time you're at like a secondhand bookstore, you know, check out the National Geographic section. There's always a lot of those, or like a library book sale. Those are really, really great too. So make sure that you're checking out the astronomy section, because that's awesome. Like to have starscapes to be able to pull from. Yeah, so just like look for things that you think are beautiful and that would like collage well. We're mostly going to be using white glue, but I will kind of like talk about other ways to collage, like Mod Podge and spray adhesives. Those are a couple things that I've explored and like have some thoughts on. Things that you can collage include books, like sketchbooks, scrapbooks, boxes, magnets, thrift store art. You can redo and upcycle kind of thrift store things. I really like upcycling. We're going to talk about that a lot. Plastic things, skateboards. There's a couple. The list goes on, but I think skateboards I really like because it's like a functional object. So I like when we upcycle something and it can still be used, or if it's enhanced because we've done it. Things to look for in a good material is things like durability and low toxicity. So durability means it's going to last a long time. It's going to be good and resilient. And if you get it wet, it's probably not going to like melt, because those things tend not to survive the long years of life and moving and travel and whatnot. And low toxicity, because we really don't want to be putting things near ourselves and into the environment like any more than we have to, you know. Like there are some situations where using not necessarily toxic materials, but using materials that are like, you know, pungent or like dust, like it's sometimes you have to, but if you can avoid it, why not do that? You're going to save your lungs, you're going to save the environment. It's just going to be, everybody feels good. It's good. Sometimes it's worth it to get the more expensive product. That's something that I think specifically with paint comes up a lot, where people are like, oh, can you use the dollar store paint? The answer is yes. And that it will crack, because there's whatever the carrier is and the binding agent and the pigment of the paints, it's just like not as good as what you would get if you were getting, you know, even acrylic paints, even like better synthetic acrylic paints. Like sometimes it is worth it. Like if you want to make like a liquid art painting as an example, like it is super worth it to get the nice stuff, and then you can like seal it in, you know, whatever you want. It just holds together better, and it like ages better over time. And I think a lot of us don't really think about like that long-term stuff. Sometimes if you're just checking it out, like definitely dollar store paint is the way to go, because you're just like seeing how it is. But then if you love it and you want your things to be beautiful and like last a long time, it tends to be the case that investing in the more expensive or the middle of the road material and tool like is the way to go. Cheap tools tend to break, cheap materials tend to like corrode over time. So I think it's really important that everybody, like you, if you're interested in something, just like research it, just check it out. Wikipedia is a great resource. The internet has lots of cool sources and tutorials for you to like check stuff out on your own, because, you know, everybody's biased. So I have a set of opinions on adhesives, like spray adhesives as an example, like, and dust, like just things that you spray. But my opinion might be different than other people's opinions, and there are people who utilize like things like spray paint and are masters at it, because I do like that, but it's just not for me, you know. So you might have a different opinion than some of the things I'm doing here. So I'm just looking to introduce you to some of the concepts and things that I've found over the years that I've enjoyed. So we're going to do like a lot of interdisciplinary mixed media stuff. So we're going to start with a mixed media series with Workman Arts and Art Fix and go from there. I'm really excited to be sharing these ideas with you guys. We're going to talk in the next videos about 2D collage, like collage intro. We're going to do a self-love mantra with monochrome background, because I personally really like the idea of monochrome collages as backgrounds for things. And then we're going to talk about shadow boxes or 3D collage, so an assemblage. So we're going to kind of bring it from like, we're going to bring it from flat surfaces to three-dimensional surfaces, where we can kind of repurpose keepsakes and stuff like that. Yeah, in the next little bit. And so I'm really looking forward to sharing a lot of these ideas with you guys. I hope that you find them helpful. Like and subscribe if you like this video and are looking forward to future videos, because the more that you guys give me feedback and support, the more that I can improve and continue to make these videos and make them better. So I'm looking forward to working with you guys and to hearing your thoughts. and the art that you create, hopefully from working with me. So